People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. What if the parts of yourself you hate most could actually become your greatest source of unshakable confidence? The very things you're ashamed of might hold the key to a level of self-assurance that nothing can touch. Today, we're diving into Carl Jung's most controversial discovery: how embracing your shadow doesn't make you worse. It makes you unstoppable. People who've done this work carry themselves with confidence that seems almost supernatural. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. What's the one thing about yourself you hope no one discovers? Keep that in mind, because today you'll learn how that thing could become your superpower. Let me tell you about Rachel, a successful marketing executive who had it all together on the surface. But inside, she was drowning in insecurity, terrified people would discover her dark truth, that she was selfish, manipulative, and ruthlessly ambitious. Rachel would lie awake replaying conversations, wondering if she'd revealed her real self. She'd catch herself calculating how to get ahead and feel disgusted. She thought she was a fraud pretending to be good. Her confidence was paper thin because it was built on hiding. But then something unexpected happened. Rachel decided to stop fighting these aspects. Instead of hiding her ambition, she owned it. Instead of feeling guilty about strategic thinking, she embraced it. What happened next changed everything. This illustrates Jung's discovery. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being whole. Jung understood we all have a shadow, and people with unshakable confidence aren't those who've eliminated darkness. They've integrated it. Jung defined the shadow as parts of ourselves we've rejected or hidden. These aren't evil traits. They're aspects of human nature we've been taught are unacceptable. Your ambition, anger, selfishness live in shadow because someone told you they were bad. Here's Jung's paradox. The more you reject parts of yourself, the weaker your confidence becomes. Deep down, you know you're not authentic. You're constantly afraid of being found out. Your confidence becomes dependent on maintaining performance. Jung realized we project rejected shadow traits onto others. The things that trigger you in people, that's your shadow talking. When Rachel felt disgusted by manipulative colleagues, she was seeing her own suppressed strategic nature reflected back. True confidence begins when you stop running from shadow and start integrating it. This doesn't mean acting on every dark impulse. It means acknowledging these aspects exist and finding healthy expression. Rachel's manipulation became strategic thinking. Think about someone with magnetic, unshakable confidence. They're not trying to be perfect. They're comfortable with complexity, contradictions, full human nature. They don't apologize for taking space because they've accepted all parts wanting space. When you stop using energy to suppress parts of yourself, that energy becomes available for other things. Instead of constantly monitoring how you're perceived, you focus on what you want to accomplish. Your presence becomes authentic and powerful. Jung understood vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the birthplace of courage and confidence. When you acknowledge shadow traits without shame, you become invulnerable to criticism. Someone calls you selfish. Yes, sometimes I am. That's healthy boundaries. Rachel's transformation was dramatic. Once she stopped hiding ambition and strategic thinking, her work improved. She stopped second-guessing in meetings, negotiated better deals without fear of seeming pushy. Her confidence became real because it was based on truth. Every shadow trait carries a gift. Your anger might carry healthy boundaries and protection ability. Your selfishness might carry self-care and priority skills. Your darkness isn't something to cure. It's something to integrate and channel constructively. How do you begin? First, pay attention to triggers. What qualities in others make your skin crawl? Write them down. These are likely projected shadow traits. Second, look for gifts in these qualities. How might they serve you healthily? The most confident people Jung worked with owned their full range of emotions without apology. They weren't trying to be saints, they were trying to be whole. They understood denying parts of yourself only gives those parts more power over you. This is dark confidence, not evil, but including parts you've kept in darkness. Confidence that can't be shaken because it's not based on being good or perfect. It's based on being complete. It's based on truth. When you integrate shadow, you become less reactive because you're not defending against yourself anymore. You become more compassionate, recognizing full human spectrum, and genuinely confident because you're no longer hiding from who you are. Rachel started her own company, not because she'd become better, but because she'd become whole. She could be ruthless in business and kind to employees, ambitious and generous. She embraced complexity. That integration became her power. Here's your challenge. For the next week, instead of fighting shadow impulses, get curious. When you feel selfish, ask what boundary you need. When angry, ask what needs protection. When manipulative, ask what you legitimately need to advocate for. Try this. Write 3 traits you dislike about yourself. For each, write how that trait has served or protected you. Find the gift hidden in shadow. This is how you reclaim your whole self. Real confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. Not about never having dark thoughts. It's about not being controlled by fear of having them. When you accept full humanity, you become unshakable because there's nothing left to hide. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. Not who you should be, not who others want, but who you actually are. Light and shadow, all of it." That wholeness is where unstoppable confidence lives. Stop trying to be a good person and start being a whole person. Stop running from shadow and start dancing with it. Stop apologizing for taking space and start owning the space you naturally fill. That's where real confidence begins. If this resonated, let me know in comments. Share one shadow trait you're ready to stop fighting and start integrating. Your vulnerability might be exactly what someone needs to see today. If you're ready to dive deeper into Jung's revolutionary psychology and practical shadow work, subscribe. We explore psychology that actually transforms lives, not surface-level advice that keeps you stuck in performance mode. Remember, the goal isn't becoming someone else. It's becoming who you've always been underneath the hiding and performing. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's untapped power, waiting for integration. Stop fighting darkness and start dancing with it.